Good afternoon, and welcome back to Dr. Logic Awkwardly Does Logic. We now have our roadmap through the wonderful landscape of canonical models, and we get to start traversing our way through it. The first thing that we will want to do is define what the worlds in the canonical model are going to be. But before we can define that, I need to give you two other definitions. One is a definition that we've actually seen before, but so long ago, I'm going to assume you've entirely forgotten it and just give it to you fresh. The other is something that we have not seen before. These definitions are of consistency and maximality, and then we will combine these two together in order to construct our canonical model worlds. So let me get up the new Zoom whiteboards, which are rather slow to respond, but once they're up, seem to work pretty well. So the first notion that we are going to define is consistency. Now, you might remember that we actually defined a number of different ways that things can be consistent. Some of them are semantic, some of them are proof theoretic. In this case, I've got a specific notion of consistency in mind. The other ones are not going to be relevant. This notion of consistency is defined with respect to a particular logical system S. So this means that, strictly speaking, we should talk about things like K consistency or T consistency or S4 consistency. However, in most of what goes on, I'm just going to talk about consistency and rely on you to remember that this is the notion that I mean. So, what is the definition? Given a system S, a set of well-formed formulas lambda, so this is a Greek capital letter that we haven't seen probably in a very long time. So it's this upside down V with the little feet underneath it. Remember this, lambda, we're going to be using it quite a bit in what comes. So a set of well-formed formulas, lambda, is S inconsistent. Yes, I'm going to be defining the negative version of the notion first. If and only if there is a finite set gamma of formulas, and since it's finite, we can list them all explicitly. So from phi 0 all the way up to some finite number phi n, which is a subset of our original set of formulas lambda, such that in system S, you can prove that you can't have the conjunction of all of these. So if you have this subset of your set where your system says, at least one of them has got to be false, then your set is inconsistent. So if there is no such subset, lambda is S consistent. So now you can see why it's easier to give the negative version and then define the positive version as not having this property. The second definition is maximality, and it's again going to be a property of sets. So this one is really lovely and easy to specify. A set lambda is maximal if and only if for every well-formed formula phi, either phi is a member of lambda or not phi is a member of lambda. And this is an inclusive or. It could be both. We don't care. The only constraint is that if we survey all of the possible well-formed formulas and we kind of pair up a formula and its negation, then one of the two of those has got to be in the set if it is going to be maximal. Then we can define what it means to have a maximal consistent set. And as you might expect, it's just going to be the conjunction of the two of these. So a set of formulas lambda is a maximal S consistent set if it is A, maximal, and B, S, consistent. Now, in the next videos, we will do more with these sets so you can start seeing why these two definitions, why we combine them, what the properties of these sets are. But already, I hope that you can see something about kind of what consistency does to put a constraint on maximality. I said a maximal set could very well have both a formula and its negation in it. But assuming that we have a relatively typical or traditional logical system S that says you're not going to be able to prove P and not P, then you can prove that you will not have not phi and not phi. So if your set is maximal and has both of these in it, it's going to become inconsistent. Therefore, a maximal set will only have at least one and at most one of any formula and its negation. I'll actually prove this for you in the next coming videos, but hopefully you can already see why this is going to be the case. So these are the fundamental, there we go, got the whiteboard go away. These are the fundamental notions for what we need for building our worlds and our canonical model. In the next time, I will show you a whole bunch of really interesting facts about maximal consistent sets, leading up to some of my favorite lemmas ever. So you're in for a treat. Until then, take care. Cheers.